there are still some trash can that you don't have to categorize, and you can. And sometimes I think feel like a lot of people still are more willing to just throw them in those trash bins instead of these recycled.
I try to recycle as much as possible, although it's a little bit difficult in China because there aren't separate, or like sometimes there aren't separate bins for each thing, especially at the dorms.
I think for these, for the categories, sometimes I don't think it's very clearly categorized. So for some trash that I have, I don't know which bins I should put them in. So that's kind of confusing to me.
Throughout our research, as you can see, most of the students we interviewed wanted to recycle. However, they either felt confused by the signs near the recycling bins or were just unsure of whether or not their trash would truly be recycled.
As a result, many students completely ignore the recycling bins. At the end of each day, the trash bins are overflowing, while the recycling bins remain mostly unfilled. This is most likely due to confusion, lack of time, and a lack of awareness around recycling.
From our investigation, we found that all of the trash and recycling goes to the B2 trash collection area. Here, the recycling collected in the bins throughout the school is supposed to be sorted again and picked up by a third-party company.
Well, I think the whole point of having separate bins is to eliminate certain types of waste and certain items that can be recycled. So we wanted to we were pinpointing, I think, like PET1, the plastic bottles. There's also PP5, which is like the hard plastics for like to-go containers and spoons and forks. And part of it is also education. So once you kind of start thinking about not all plastics are the same. So we wanted to at least kind of separate it into categories. Paper, raw materials trash, and then two types of plastics, and then also metals and glass. But I think ultimately it may be too advanced for the community, so we might adjust it to make it more simplified. But ultimately, I think we should be doing it anyways, and that's kind of the direction we want to go. Well, I think people are open to it. That people that actually think about it and are pretty open to it. I know some people that weren't aware of it start to think about it and go, "Oh, I have to separate trash," and it's a good sign. People are moving in the right direction. I mean, our first iteration was only English, and so that was a mistake on our part. We kind of just didn't think about it, and we were like, "Okay, let's get it up there," and we did it in English first, and then we realized probably people that are dual language, they're kind of dominant in one, right? So like for me, I look at English, and yes, I kind of recognize some Chinese, but it's English. And probably for the reverse, people that are Chinese dominant, they probably look at the Chinese. If there's no Chinese, then it's kind of like a blur, maybe. So we added in the Chinese version, and we wanted to make sure it was clear as possible. Well, I think a couple things, right? We did the whole coffee thing, right? And that's a financial incentive, right? I think that's an obvious incentive, right? I think people are financially incentive and they save money. That's great. Now, I think we've done other things that are like potential ideas like eliminating plastics. The Green Shanghai group, they want to try to eliminate plastics, and we're here to support. Like if they have a great idea, and we can help implement it, so we can give them ideas, but we have to all kind of contribute. Like meaning, if they don't want us to sell plastic, fine, I'll eliminate all the plastic. I don't know if students will be happy, but I think, but we can try. In the B1, it's actually a lot simpler. So you have like a recycle bin, a paper bin, and a food waste bin. And it's actually much simpler. That's why I started thinking about it. Maybe it's too sophisticated on the second floor. Maybe we need to dumb it down into a more simplified manner where they don't need to think too much. Recycle, paper, waste, and do the same thing. And I think that's probably the direction we're headed towards. Because, like I said, I know people are they don't know which one to go in, and they don't know enough, right? That's fine. But I think that's part of the education. But we can dumb it down, and then eventually, maybe over time, we can. I think maybe this version is too advanced.
Students often order Waimai, which becomes a problem because Waimai comes in large packaging and containers that do not fit into the given slots of the recycling bins. This discourages people from utilizing the recycling bins, as they simply put their waste next to the bins rather than inside of them.
This is a kind of a vague answer because there's no guarantees of where the trash actually goes. I think we just try to, I think our ultimate goal is to have it, everyone sorts it. If 80% can sort it well, then we take that and we bring it down to B2, and B2 they sort it probably even more clearer, like paper with paper and glass with glass, and they can kind of segment into different bags, and maybe if they need to wash it a little bit, they wash it, and then eventually, ideally, it goes to a third party.
So when I first started meeting with Malcolm and discussed the implementation of the bins and how they would be used, he sort of educated me on a one-to-one basis on what the difference was between a PET1 and a PP5 and how they would make the bins specialized to what they sold in the cafe and sort of cater it to the community. So I thought it was really interesting to educate myself on the topic in a more specialized way than just plastics or metals, but to understand that there are different ways that each of these are recycled. When I came to NYU Shanghai, to the larger city, to the community, and sort of saw that there was a lot of efforts being put forward by the school and by Sproutworks and everyone to really push this initiative that is super, super important.
Moving forward, it will be important to continue improving the effectiveness of the recycling system here at NYU Shanghai in order to achieve equal participation between the Sproutworks and students' efforts to recycle.
Once these improvements have been made, it will be up to the students to embrace this new system and help NYU Shanghai community to become active participants in this green movement.
In that direction. So, but it has to be like a very conservative effort, and it can't be like, oh, well, the vending machine guy still has plastic bottles. So you kind of also have to talk to that guy and say, hey, look, can you do something else? Or maybe don't sell that type of water. Or my idea is basically, you offer free water, like a nice water, a bubbly water or a flavored water, and you give everyone cups. And I think that's kind of the idea we want to do for the eventual future.
Recently, Sproutworks has been planning to implement new tactics such as new trash sorting systems.
They are also participating in Earth Week by offering discount incentives or free food if the student brings their own containers.